Hello there, this is a Newsfirst exclusive, but this time it's with Jason Rajasinghe, who has bagged the Telly Awards, Emmy Awards. Hi Jason, thank you very much for joining us on an exclusive.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, before we start off, I think we really need to hear it from you as to where this whole thing started off from. Where did you get the idea? Why did you think, you know what, this is my thing?
Yeah, well, film has always been part of my life. I mean, I was an artist. I used to do a lot of human figure, but film has always had a special place in my heart. When it comes to like movies, I can quote them. But the truth is, how do I make a career of it? And so being here in Sri Lanka, growing up in Sri Lanka, there's very limited options, especially at the time when I started. You can get in certain fields, but you can't really progress from there. Is the mentality, right? And so my thing was when I started working with fellow Chandran Ratnam, who was a great guide to me in the film industry. I started to see the pieces that were missing in order for me to progress and actually get further in my career. Long story short, I started a company and I built a house that could contain me, or help me grow at least. And in turn, I could also help other people that had wanted the same opportunities that I never had grow in this field. And so the birth of iFilm Sri Lanka, one of Rad Productions' brands, started, and we've been running strong ever since.
When you speak about Rad Productions, it's an international brand, but iFilm Sri Lanka, and you just said about how you'll try to incorporate Sri Lanka with everything you do.
Yeah, I mean, mainly because obviously I'm a Sri Lankan, and I'm really proud to be a Sri Lankan. I think, we've had a tremendous journey as a country, and I'm really very optimistic about the future as well. Sri Lanka will always be, whether I'm in America, whether I'm in any part of the world, with the work that I do, I'll try to bring it in. Like recently, earlier this year, we were doing a campaign for a major coding company. And so that coding company was like, how do we make this video that we're doing with you go viral? And it was so cool for us to incorporate a Tesla Cybertruck and then incorporate Sri Lankan Bharatanatyam and traditional dances in that visual. And we were able to showcase Sri Lanka to the world through that film. So even if it's a commercial for a corporate brand or whatever it is, we try to bring some sort of essence of Sri Lanka into it.
And where do these ideas come from?
It's always a team effort. And to be honest, everybody that I worked with, I've either started them as an intern or I've started them in a junior level, and I've kind of raised them up to be, a full-fledged, either a video editor. Our entire company starts off that way. We start them from the grassroots level, and then they build themselves up, and that way everybody knows, if for some reason, something goes wrong on set, everybody knows what to do because they've started from the bottom and they're at a certain place in their life that they just know how to fix the problem instead of just standing there and thinking, oh, what did we do?
There's this thing that you'll do with your interns,
Yeah.
with the studio. I think it's something unique to iFilm. So can you tell us about what you'll do?
Yeah, so the idea of the internship program has always been for us to, how do we give them, like I said, I'm trying to stop this thing of thinking, I need to leave the country in order to, make something of myself. You have the same problem that I had, I'm trying to fix. So the internship program was, how do I make sure they download all of the information they need to get into the film industry or make something of themselves in the industry in less than 3 months. Some of our interns have gone up to 6 months because they enjoyed the process and they kept wanting to learn. But in 3 months, you get to learn the basic fundamentals. And being an efficient person on set is a tool that any director, any producer would love to have. And so there's been huge success stories. What do I get out of it? Honestly, I'm building an infrastructure and building to have this human element in our iFilm touch on set everywhere. And that way, when it does come for us to create an international film, and when it does come for iFilm to take that step, we'll be ready and we'll have the right tools to make it happen.
Jason started off in a place like that, and now he is the person representing Sri Lanka at Emmy Awards and Telly Awards. So how did that feel? And when you'll were nominated for both awards, even at the recent Chicago Midwest Emmys. Where did the nomination process come from? How did Red be part of it? How was your team supportive when you won your award? Can you talk about that with us?
Absolutely. I mean, again, this win is really, really awesome. But for me, the true win was for Rad Productions to be nominated. We were nominated side by side with like the Chicago White Sox, the MLB. We were nominated with the Chicago Field Museum, and like the list goes on. They're fantastic names for our name to be next to. And we're a company that's, you know, in the US at least, is just less than 2 years old. We're new. We're a very small team, and for our work to be, you know, brought up in that standard next to these giants, it was just phenomenal. And for us, I feel like that just shows that talent grown here, raised here in Sri Lanka, can definitely contend with the rest of the world. And I truly believe that. Like, you can literally grow something here, and it is of international standard, and you can contend with the big leagues.
And how's your balance with you stay in the US and then you come back to Sri Lanka, you travel between the two countries. How do you balance both businesses there and here, both brands there and here?
I'm definitely passionate about what I do. Hence why, like, the hours, the days, the commitment, it doesn't factor in. I know I have to be in it for the long haul. I know that things take a lot of time to do. I'm just excited about representing Sri Lanka to the US, and also bringing some of that flavor that I learned there back to Sri Lanka. One of the cool things that I can point out is some of the work we do is with US-based clients as well. And I watched one of our editors who came in looking very different, and he handles the editing of a certain podcast. And I started to see physically he started to look different because he's constantly editing clients in the US, and he's starting to look like the person that he's editing of, right? And so I was just like, okay, so we are kind of influencing them in some way through this media. And for me, that was really exciting, that they get to live this virtual life in some way through the work that they're doing.
So what are your plans for the next year? What are you planning to do? Are you planning to film in Sri Lanka by any chance? Tell us about your plans.
So Miriam, like, the coolest thing for us for 2025, and we've been working on this one particular project that actually features Sri Lanka in this documentary series called Origin. So we're very excited about that project coming up, but I'm also very excited to be expanding our studio here at iFilm Sri Lanka, and for us to entertain more interns to be here at the same time, so that we can churn out and have more people coming out as an iFilm educated and coming into the film industry and actually helping us move it forward. There are massive projects coming up. I would love to say more about it, but I'm just excited. Firstly, I'm like Tom Holland in Spider-Man. I'll leak out everything.
All right, so we are looking forward to what you have to give us next year as well, and we fingers crossed it's going to be really great. So thank you, and thank you for having a chat with us. We hope you bring us more recognition, more pride throughout next year, and of course in the future. Good luck with iFilm Sri Lanka and Red Productions. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.